Morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Bread for Soul Convos with myself, Sir LSG. We kickstart the week with a topic, rather, I mean, it's not really a topic per se, but something that I've been doing ever since the lockdown is creating this content and creating it at scale just to get more traction and to get more of what I'm doing out there. Similarly, the people that I have on board this morning, they've been doing the same. These guys have been creating four mixes a week, Monday to Sunday, getting mix every week. Tequila Gang, South Africa. Larry Majens,
All right, how are you, sir?
as well. Bravini, how's it?
Nice one. Let's see. Good morning.
Yeah, ne, ke itsoro wena sinago tsa go tsoga.
Don't tell people about that. No, come on. That's you. Don't tell people about that.
Yeah, those are domestic affairs.
As well. Hey, Jerry, oring da.
Number one, sir. Ukraine.
Ke shapo mfethu, ke shapo. So between tla ke botse wena Jerry, between rona kaofela ha o re shebile so mfethu ne. Ho na le motho o sa tlhapang.
Eish, o ska ya on the spot. Ra itse gore ho na le motho a no ile reng
Hey,
a se na go
pass up.
a se na go go mo so.
Hey, tera.
Awesome. Abang Waikiki. That's what it is.
Thank
Yeah,
Thank
ne,
you.
why kids, ne, sharp.
Mara, okay, who's that happy? What are meno araballe?
No.
Oh, then get happy.
No, Mare, I mean, like, usually I used to do this show, and so I would wake up my 80 da, and just, I want to go out at the time, get a sweater, and then do afterwards. Mara, knowing I've gotten better, or when I'm like, Bravini, I don't know, so hard, nix. But other simulangari because that really tune gents like doing online content like you do. I mean, DJ mixes. Everybody's doing DJ mixes, but you decided to huira something that happens 4 times a week from Thursday to Sunday. You guys are doing mixes, inviting DJs over, and but like about kisimuleka wena otone formation ya lona as a collective. Why Le Formule Tequila Gang and how did this thing come about?
Oh, for me, okay, Tequila Gang was formed based on number one factor why the formula existing. Rain or tequila.
Sure.
What's that? So initially, before lockdown, we were supposed to do the tequila party. I was 28th of March. So we wanted to start, driving tequila events, proper tequila events that, will change this game. So lockdown happened. Marching, they are for us to activate our tequila party. Then we sat back and spoke, of it. Seeing that we're going to be moving away from gigging that much, how about we start something also that is music related to what we do, but we drive it online? Then Tequila Gang was formed.
Yeah.
From that one.
Yeah. No,
And then to fast forward a few months down the line,
because like Hosumula something can be such a daunting thing. Like when you start thinking about, can I have to start this thing from scratch? Zero followers. Besides the fact that individually you guys have people that follow your music and what you do, but to start something from scratch, that thing, will people actually accept this thing, and how long can we keep doing this thing? It can be such a daunting task, really, and about the journey as we go. So Jerry, I want to ask you to Matat. Let me say Matat because now people are like, "Come on, Jerry," because that's your stage name. So talking about COVID-19 and just safety, how have you guys kept, safe during this period, especially because you guys almost every week you've got at least one guest coming in and playing mixes with you guys?
Look, first and foremost, I think we all parents, we all adults, so we decided that the most critical people that we need to look after, take care of, it's our families, and our families being, if we look after ourselves, we will protect our families not to get infected and whatnot. But we followed very strict procedures from day one, taking into consideration a lot of people bare ba invite to come. We go through, not too robust, but your basic check when you come into studio. There's a sanitizing booth from the outside. When you come into studio, before going into studio, we take temperatures. We heighten the process. Now we even have a oxygen type of reader. There's sanitizers almost everywhere. We do the normal checks that when you go into any store, people will take precautions. When you come in, obviously you must be wearing a mask. After we've taken the temperatures and whatnot, that's when we can start. In between the sets, first of all, our music equipment gets thoroughly cleaned all the time prior to basically any DJ set, and in between sets. That's why sometimes you see, we'll put a screen or holding screen. We allow that 4 or 5 minutes to clean the decks again, make sure, should there be somebody who's infected there, especially guests that come through, you don't run the risk of passing on, the infection to another person. We do have a fogging machine, so we fog the studio pre and post all the sets, just to make sure I get over this thing or something.
Yeah.
So if it's a more fun,
Yeah.
so but we take all of those precautions, and we also very key. We've gotten a lot of people sending inboxes. No, we want to come and play them. We choose strategically so that we don't overwhelm ourselves, and obviously take into consideration what's happening.
Yeah.
We say to the guys that post lockdown will come to those cities and whatnot, and they can still come. But yeah, in terms of safety, we prioritize that safety elements in terms of fogging the environment, in terms of sanitizing and cleaning the equipment properly on a regular basis. The atmosphere is sanitized, the sanitizers everywhere, and we just follow all the procedures not to basically get infected. And I say to the guys, I normally give them, precautions from my doctor to say you need to take vitamin C,
Yeah.
vitamin C in one, so that you don't by any chance get infected and whatnot.
Yeah. And talking about
Yeah.
that, because Bravini last week, you were telling me that your wife was, only let's say box the vitamin da, so everybody has to take vitamins pakela or at night, but you have to take vitamins whether wa lwala or not. And so that's such a powerful thing. But what's a Bravini ne? Because when Pickett came out and said, guys, I contacted the virus, and Brian Black was also, he also tested positive, and he was playing Goku Pickett, SK Dog the same, and both of those, all of those guys were in the same session. Like, has that ever occurred to you guys? Or maybe we need to slow down a bit.
I think, yeah, I think especially more after Pickett's encounter with this thing, we had to take a step back and think, especially like what Jerry was just saying now. I mean, Jerry said it like exactly like how we're thinking. We were caught in something like, do we stop with the guests and keep it in house, or do we stop the stream completely for a while? And but we decided, you know what? Okay, let's stop for that week, and maybe even try and if we can find other venues where we can go to and stream from. And we said, okay, fine, let's, maybe for now, let's not stream from, because we stream from our homes. Let's stop streaming from homes and, take this thing outside at venues and that's where we can even, try and invite a guest all the time. And that's what we did. But obviously the fact that, you're getting people all the time, it plays through your mind that, you know what, you don't know any guest that come in can bring this thing in, or vice versa, or we can even give it to someone else because we don't know. This thing is not written in your face to say that so and so has got it, but we have to be extra careful with this thing. It's a devil, man. It's a devil, whether we like it or not. And I see people they're not taking it serious. And fortunately, me and my team, Jerry and Otto, we are very serious. To an extent where we say, if you don't feel it, or if we think there is something, we'll stop, stay away. I'll stay home, Otto will stay home, Jerry will stay home, and then we'll say, we're not doing it. But we'll take extra measures to make sure that we are all safe. And I think that the Pickett episode, I think it really got to us. I'm happy that he is okay now, and even the guys that were with him, they're all okay. I'm happy that it's over.
Yeah.
And he said it himself, guys, be careful. This thing is real. And to everybody out there who is streaming and inviting people to their places, be very, very careful. We can't afford to catch. Yes, it can catch anyway. Not necessarily with streaming. You go to the store, you go to the supermarket. It can happen, but try as much as you can to be extra careful.
Yeah. And Bravini, I want to ask you just about the kind of DJs that you guys, because we I think nobody knows the industry like you do. You've got so many people who you are in contact with. Probably when they see your platform, when they see the traction happening, they also want to be part of it. How do you handle that situation? How do you even decide who to call for a mix or not?
That one is a difficult one. It's been happening for many years. From the radio show to the TV show, and now that you've got the streaming one, and people think that you don't want to invite them, and some people hate you for that. But now with this COVID, we have to be careful. It's not like I'm taking you to a radio station, and even when I'm taking you to the show to come invite you to play the show. Right now at SABC, it's worse. You don't come in and say, you have to have a mask. All those PPEs, you have to make sure that you've got them. Otherwise, you're not coming in. And the other day when I was doing that, I was at SABC and I went in with a mask, sanitized and everything. And I went outside for a smoke. I forgot the mask. Guess what happened when I came back? It was I was no, you can't come back. I'm yeah, but I was just in there no, you can't. So you see how I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's like that. With me, guests, right now with the COVID, like I said, we have to be careful. But every day I get an SMS, a text, a WhatsApp, an inbox to say, when can I come to Tequila again? And I'm that's a difficult one to answer. I can't say yes, I can't say no. But I think right now the most important thing is the safety thing, right? And you find somebody who's in outside the province, they want to come. So right now, because now we can't travel, interprovincial travel, it's not allowed.
Yeah.
So now how do you say yes to somebody who's in Free State? They want to get here. and you tell them, well, first of all, we need to get the COVID precautionary measures. Now the travel as well. You see how it's involved. It's
Yeah.
so much. So for now, I'd say the guests that we are trying to get or that we will be interested in should probably be in and around Gauteng, where it's you can travel. It's good. I mean, you're not gonna get problems with the cops and whatever. It's allowed. It's okay. And then maybe later, when the lockdowns eases down, yeah, we'll open it up. But
Yeah.
we can't get everybody.
Yeah.
Guys, open our hair. So, but can we breathe? You know, sleep, and you know what? We'll try and accommodate anyone, but everybody must just understand that it's impossible to please everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. Like it or not.
And to be honest, even without COVID, like if let's say no was not COVID, you guys were just doing online streams like the same way you're doing them, it will be literally impossible to invite each and every DJ in South Africa. Like, come on, let's just be honest. And I think sometimes, yes, it's nice to be on a platform that's growing as a DJ. Like, in certain platforms.
Yes.
You guys have got probably the most popular online thing happening within our scene, because you do it so regularly, and there are other things that you do in between, which we'll talk about. But just before this thing COVID, because you and I were talking about, we saw Black Coffee go greasy, they're in an island, the party like nothing has happened. But I want to ask you, with regards to the amount of precautions that you guys take on your streams, do you think a similar concept, a similar model could be modeled into nightclubs? Can we get to a point where we take that extensive precaution with regards to COVID in order to open up the nightlife?
Well, I personally think it can be done. When we spoke now off camera earlier, you see the element, what the government is trying to do, we see it, they're trying to protect or prevent a lot of spread. But when we move out of all this lockdown levels and we move slowly into gigging, this is, if you look at Deep House, for instance, Deep House is a small community movement. You understand? Deep House has never been about 20,000 people in stadium or 5,000 people where We've been a small community. So I think as time goes by or as level eases up and the industry gets to be open a little bit, Rona will be the most fortunate people to start engaging in proper social distance events, whereby you have like your 50 people or 40 people in an event, and then with proper social distancing amongst our patriots, and the biggest thing is we will not obviously stop what we do online. We will host gatherings of that magnitude and also stream to a larger community outside what we do. So with Deep House, we can win this thing. We can win this thing. If they just, like for instance, I'll give you an example of Fire Nights. Fire Nights on a normal day when we do Venice Vinyl Thursday before COVID has never been a place to host 200 people or 150 people.
Yeah.
You understand? We host a small community, and but obviously by itsing ha re tlo ba le mathata necessary or motho nyaga kabza small on record.
On Vienna. Yeah. Sure.
So yeah, well, it's something that it will be doable. And again, when we saying we are moving into lockdown levels being eased up, we have to start with events like that, with small gigs like those. Then we'll build it up to your, bigger capacity.
Yeah.
But yeah, it can be done.
For sure. Hey, Jerry Fetu, I want to ask you though about the kind of creating content at scale, like this thing, Instead, I used to do Bread for Soul sessions as a podcast, LED mix once a month, and yeah, Spana, it's got its own following, but I can just imagine if I were to do it as a weekly thing, it could grow even more than it has grown over the years. So I want to ask you just from your side, how do people receive things that are happening, on a regular basis from a marketing point of view?
Look, we try by all means. We crack our skulls week in, week out to deliver proper content. We're in a space now. We believe that content is king. You need to create proper, relevant content for your audience. We found ourselves very blessed and lucky given the space that globally we found ourselves in of lockdowns and whatnot, where we got to express ourselves with proper content online. This is content based on the look and feel of the brand, content based on the music that you play, content based on the DJs that get hosted on the platforms, content that goes on to your generic weekly posts and what you share with people to try and make it as exciting, relevant, sometimes a little bit cheeky. When you're a brand, you need to have that aspiration and inspiration element into it. We started moving our basic one camera stream to different angle streams. We started moving it into our little sub sort of element called your music and views. Just basically play music but in different environments. Like Vinny said, it was also a strategy of trying to move out of our homes a little bit to obviously safeguard our families, but at the same time on screen give our audience a different type of content. Like you rightfully say, there's a lot of people who are doing DJ sets and streams online, but most of them are based on just camera and the kind of music and the DJ play. We started off there, but as we moved along, for a brand to evolve, we started thinking, how do we try and infuse different elements to try and keep, the eye on screen, to try and keep people hooked onto our brand. So started introduce. There's a lot of elements that we would like to introduce. Given the kind of brand that we are as Tequila Gang, we drink tequila, like Otto said, aggressively. So so we wanted to start involving certain. I remember when we were still in level 5, but alcohol was still available, through some of the partner brands that we wanted to start doing cocktails, doing a lifestyle thing on cocktails. Jiggy jiggy, lockdown, no more alcohol. Then you have to take some of those elements off screen and whatnot. But it's all about, what type of content do you want to drive? Content is the new currency, especially in the nowadays world. A lot of people, even post the lockdown and whatnot. Yes, the eye on screen will drop a bit, but I think COVID or the universe just literally started making us to take technology serious, started making us be conscious of our health more seriously. I mean, it's got its give or takes, but at the end of the day, I think it was just a harsh reality slap from the universe that, like the guys about Chanale with Richard Branson would say, sometimes when there are difficulties, you develop opportunities in there. And I think we took that element from a content point of view, and we drove it to be where we are, and there's still a lot that we want to do. If you see our post-COVID plans, it's like a 6-chapter sort of book of plans to do post-COVID.
Yeah. Man, I would like to at least like if you guys can just let a fair piecing a fella to some of the things that we can expect there. Bravini, orang telling you that.
Stanza tata jo.
Really, you must be careful.
No,
Arways.
no,
No,
actually, yes.
but with these things, I mean, sometimes plans. When you're coming up with plans, sometimes it's about telling people that I've got the plans in place, but I will never tell you what the plans are
Yeah,
because Liseho can take my plan
I will definitely do that.
and mess with it, and then So rather, we've got plans in place.
Yeah, yeah,
Plans which are gonna start slow, but with a bigger picture.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I mean, like Jerry said, there's a whole. I mean, right now, I think this game has opened up. I mean, yes, the lockdown has helped one to think outside the box. That would click on what's going on. Okay, I'm not DJing anymore. I'm not working. I've got time on my hands. What do I do with that time? And I like what's going on. I mean, I see a lot of producers. Wow, the music is amazing.
Yeah.
Big up to you guys because you got time to make this music that we love. And I can see, I mean, like I said, I'm loving the music and especially the local content. I'm happy. I'm happy, and keep on doing it. So in like now, when it comes to content, sit down, think. There's a whole lot you can do with this technology today. And Jerry said it. We've got plans in place. Unfortunately, I'm not saying anything about
I won't have that.
how it is.
But like that, sorry, Bravidi. But that I think it's such an important thing because, firstly, everyone is affected. All artists are affected, ne? But it's either you're gonna be like super overwhelmed by this thing, or hey, we can't gig, we can't do anything, and then you stop, and then you kind of like stop right there and continue complaining. Cause like for me, I've stopped complaining. Like if it's something that I can't do anything about, if I can't change something, I'm gonna stop complaining about it. I can actually focus on something that I can change. Maybe that can bring up more ideas, and that just opens up the ball. It does open up the ball a bit more. What else can we do with this thing? And you guys mentioned everybody's doing the stream. Like there's so many people doing streams, and I think I would encourage people not to be discouraged by the fact that many people are doing it. Rather, think about if you are gonna do it, how different are you going to be? What is it that that's not being done by everyone else in the industry? Because that's where the difference is. And if you can find that out and do that consistently, the brand will grow, the platform will grow. And because Vinu mentioned the music, because I've also realized that since the lockdown, we've had some of the most amazing songs released by local producers. And actually, you can almost thank the lockdown to be like, actually, if we didn't have this period, these people would be out partying every day and not making this. I mean, like, guys, the music that has come out this year alone is so dope. Ralcam is on his 4th single this coming week. He used to do 4 singles in a year or 2 years, something like that. So with you, Otto Bra, because you're reading every week, how do you plan the music? Is it a constant work? You always have to think about new sets and playing new songs.
Yeah, well, challenging player. Well, but the one thing that I always share with the guys is what with regard to what COVID has done to me and to Livona. It somehow took out an element of laziness in Samoa, whereby he on a normal gigging day without COVID, you just leave your house without preparing anything that you want to play. I'm going to start with this first song and second song, and from there I'll just gel with it. But what COVID has done, and with the algorithms and big copyright songs and issues, you need to think very hard now on what you're going to play, because the minute you play something that is popular algorithms will shut us down when stream gets affected. So now, before your set, you sit down, my man. You try to go as hard as possible in terms of sound. You know, you play your most recent released tracks, and mostly with the copyright issues, we somehow get away with it based on local content, local produced tracks. You know, when I play a song here, say LSG, that he released last week, I know I'll get away with that. I'll play a full set of songs recently released. Then you're not gonna be cut off in terms of, you
You're
know,
giving away the
streaming.
formula.
No, Jerry.
You are giving away the formula there.
No, but I think that one is fine. You know, like yeah.
Yeah, I gotta. We're just trying to you know, to educate and share with some. We can't share everything because what we're giving you is it's a minor. I'll give you a formula now like this, but you don't know what we have. How are you?
So
So yeah,
yeah.
it's just, you know, that element to ill. And the one thing I wanted to also iron out in, you know, with the musical aspect, you see, I think now it's time for deep house DJs to really, you know, get out there, because deep house is, like I said, we've been shut down so long in terms of, you know, the music scenes. But now when you're doing all these things online, no one will shut you down. You're even reaching more people that at a normal gig at House 22, you wouldn't be able to do that. So this is the time for us now to, as deep house gurus or as deep house junkies, you need to start pushing and push very hard. We are moving from that element of you being a bedroom DJ at your house with equipment to you being a bedroom DJ at your house online to the people. You understand? Yeah. So
And
abatlo dimense batlo bolela batlo re lwantsha necessary.
and that's the thing, man. Like with regards to online content, anybody can create, guys. Like anybody can create. So if I can be, if I don't get an invite for that, I go Tequila gang, instead of like being like, hi, these guys are actually back Kenya, you know, like I could actually just take some time, create my own content, or team up with other people, create our own content. How can we actually do our own thing and find different ways of doing it? Because I mean, this is not a thing you're not gigged anymore, you're not booked anymore. You can book yourself now, you know, as a
Yeah,
collective,
yeah.
like Kopanya fella, let's see what we can do, guys, camera wise, graphics wise, because a lot of people actually a lot of people don't really consider the visual aspect of things when coming to online content, the importance of that, you know. For me, if I was doing this show alone, this it would just be a window with no graphics and just me talking, and just having an element of graphics makes a huge difference, you know. And I'm really grateful for my partner because she's the one doing all of the visual aspect. Just to have that flyer, how about to have on a flyer, it's a magazine, and they see the quality in it, people have some kind of belief, you know, in what you're doing. How important is the look, of what you do online?
The look is as much critical as the music. Remember, I think, and this is the aspect a lot of DJs or anyone who's trying to stream. When you get booked at House 22 or 033, when you get there, you play, you do what a DJ has to do, is play music. The visual aspect there is the actual eyes of the people. But with online now, the visual is a computer, it's a camera, it's a phone, it's a tablet, it's a television screen, which doesn't see things. You have to make that camera sort of capture things in a way that other people will see it proper. We've seen streams where I remember the one that I did, you know, under Patio, all the comments were like, we can't see the DJ. You know, when I tested the previous night, small little things. I tested the visuals at night with the downlights on. I forgot we are streaming tomorrow in the afternoon. The sun against you, lighting was bad. I remember that day I even fought let my wife a bit. She kept on saying, but people say I can't see. I can't do anything. I'm alone. I'm DJing here. I'm looking at the camera. There's nothing I can do. I'm alone.
Yeah.
I'll just play music. There's such so small little things like that. But the greatest thing that I think we need to grasp, and in all of these discussions that we're having, Otto highlighted earlier on, we are forced into an environment where we need to learn. You know, COVID has put everyone in a space where we all learning to do things differently and learning new things. It's entirely up to individuals whether you want to be lazy, not learn, stick to the norm, or you learn, progress, and you know, obviously leave the new norm. And we've been learning a lot. We've learned cameras, we've learned lighting, we've learned audio, this cable versus that audio cable. We've learned capture cards. We've burned our fingers trying this different capture card to stream vis-a-vis that. We've learned algorithms, you know. We've learned, you know, shooting outdoor. What are the pros and cons, the times to shoot during, you know, we've learned a lot and we constantly learn day in, day out. I mean, we've got our chat group where it's very difficult. You know, this thing called an exco of tequila cake. It's difficult to coordinate chats. One sleeps early, the other one very late, you know.
Yeah.
When you want to try and convey a message to Otto at 10 o'clock at night, it's very late.
Yeah.
He's gone. You are left with myself, Vini, talking till 3 in the morning. Then when we sleep, Otto 5 o'clock kicks in and starts, I agree with that. No, we need to so but it's all every time when we sit, we learn, we come up with new things, we debate, we test, we try new things. But rightfully saying to your point, LSG, you know, picture, it's very, very important because you're streaming to a computer, you're streaming to visually inclined audience. So you need to make sure you get your lighting right, you get your there are days where we were battling to, you know, load on your, you know, PNG graphics as logos and whatnot. But we learned, you know, one of our partners is a art director and a designer, Mr. Sabawa. He writes these things and he configures them, and then we debate with him every day. No, we don't want it this big. We want, so we get through a lot of elements to try and give proper content that looks visually proper and sounds musically proper.
Yeah, Pravini, actually, while we're talking about, you know, the visual aspect of it, the locations the Spanish which were really nice. You know, like it was quite refreshing to the eye. Santa, like the first one that I remember, I think Nilele, it was like the townhouses. Hey, mona wa bona gore go loda, you know, firstly, like the music you monate, and mar just looking at that thing, ain't got so much peace for but I'm sure what grand. For me, it's kind of like it's inspiration in its own way. Which were some of the locations that you really enjoyed playing at Wana Bravin?
I think, you know, look, I mean, we aspire to get more locations. I mean, this view, music and views concept for me, I can't wait to get to September because you're gonna be blown away. So far, because it was cold, I mean, it was winter, you know, we had to make do. I mean, yes, you like them, but for us, it's like okay, fine. I think imagine this in summer. Imagine this when it's warm. Imagine this on a beautiful day. So you know, I mean, in winter you can only do so much. But I mean, done artists. Yes, I mean the one you had to talk about was in Hartis. You know, it was amazing. I mean, we've done Cradle Boutique, just down the road here. It's things like that like I said, Jerry was just said it, like, sometimes you have to try it to see how it looks. You can, you visualize it, it's in your mind, like, what if I put a camera on top of my house? How will it look? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but like, it's trial and error. If you don't try it, somebody's gonna do it, and then you're gonna be like, yeah, but that was my idea. I thought about it, but you didn't do it. And the other day we were in Rivonia at a car dealership. I'm giving away ideas. Wherever you are, if you're streaming, look, think outside of the box. Yes, the venues like clubs, they're closed, but you can go knock at their doors and like, Dumelang, my name is so and so. Can I use your venue for 2 hours? They're not gonna say no, because they're not allowing people here. It's you and the camera and the DJ. That's it. So yeah, this thing of music and views. Think about a picnic setup, but with no people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing. For me, yes. This thing is going. People are watching, and today, while you're watching, I cannot buy Bluetooth and put it on a big sound system at my house. It's a party there on your own.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's for me, yes. This is an amazing time to think outside the box, to think, what can I do to enhance what I do? And we're not saying we know everything. We learn. People say you are a good DJ, you are the best DJ. No, I'm not the best DJ. I learn every day with everything that I do. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm an expert. I'm not. I'm learning. So yes, so yeah. We learn. We try. If it doesn't work, fix it. Move on.
Yeah.
And that's how we do it. And yes, those venues for me, they've been amazing. And
That's more.
Killer Gang is gonna blow your mind this year. Watch this.
I know. I look at supporting and I need to know thing. If Vinia say or Otto or Jerry, you're not a thing that's another.
Yes.
And
yeah.
And I wanted to say, also because you were mentioning venues, the car dealership thing, I think that, you could give somebody ideas. You could give literally somebody your ideas. And it's either they won't do it or they won't do it properly. Like, it's kind of like, I don't believe that anybody can steal ideas that like, if I have an idea and I share an idea, and I believe that I have in my mind, I have the vision. I know what it will look like, and I kind of know how to get there. And some people will be like, okay, ne Takila gang illegal cradle, but they can go to cradle and still have a shot doesn't really look nice. That's not appeasing, like to the eye. So I think, like you say, sometimes it's just about try things out, gents. Let's try things out. I want to talk about merchandise, because you guys have got a line, the gang. How many of these do you guys give away? Because like when Soul Diva was there, she didn't get a sweater. Arbansari sweater mahala.
Yeah.
What is
Okay, no, Eric would say auto, bro. Like, Spanish, because I find myself like trying to sell, while we selling merchandise or bread for soul, and you can have range, you can have different things, but there's a lot of challenges that come. But one of the biggest challenge for us is actually handling everything that's coming in, all of the orders, packaging everything, calling couriers. Do you guys do the loteo on your own, or do you got somebody handling that for you guys, Otto?
a question I mentioned that na Luena Rof is a bit. Go for Jerry, because they all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Because we fight a lot when it's that related. Because remember, Jerry's coming from a marketing point of view, point of element in this gang, and I'm, musically heavily equipped. So hey, over somebody merchandising most wa, hey, relo ampi, relo. So this one, let me just pass it over to him. But we do have a team that handles that merchandising and shipping. But he'll utla pakela yona pi.
a re pakele yone da jere.
Look, yeah, the merchandising element, there's two ways we look into it. One, like Otto rightfully say, I'm a marketer by profession, so I want to see brand going out. I want brand affinity. I want people, receiving the brand love and whatnot. But at the same time, given the space that we're in, you get people who are DJs who would normally derive an income from gigging. And on our part, the merchandising part was to say, given that we can't move around, we can't gig, how do we still maintain, a little bit of income? There's streams that people do where it's a paid for stream, buy this e-ticket and whatnot. We thought about those, but we're like, nah, let's give people our own music. There are streams that people would put a QR code on the screen and you can donate. We've thought about that. I mean, we were debating it with Vinny the other day to say maybe let's just start including that QR code so that people that feel like, DJs haven't been going out and gigging, but let me just, with my little, we know everyone is not making an income. People are retrenched on a daily basis and whatnot, but there are people who are still working, who love what we do, who appreciate the time and effort that we put in, that will have something to spend on whatever element that we do. So from a merchandising point of view, it was just another stream to say, hey, we've built a nice brand online, we've built a nice brand that people are affiliated with. Let's start, trying to sell merchandise as a way to try and make that little income. It's not much. I mean, you sell merchandise, you end up with a lot of stock sitting, in your storage, trying to get it out. Yes, people do buy and whatnot, but when you look at the ins and outs, what comes in versus what you spend, you break even or make a minimal profit and whatnot. Yes, we do distribute. We've got a team that helps us to distribute and courier companies. We had to learn to do things the online way, register for an online store that we are trying to update on a regular basis. And it's on a systematic basis. Once you've bought a cab, it registers with the printers, they print and then courier. So it's all automated so that you don't get to waste time, and there's not a lot of movement. They already stock or no Jerry say I go man, no give, that's not there. So we try and just automated things. The fight between me and Otto is where I would be saying, let's say go studio, Otto will be like, nah, swat. Well, we must sell these things and make a little bit of money out of it. I was like, no, but it's some things are meant to be promo elements, so that the more people see the brand, the more the brand grows. Like, nah. Post lockdown, like it's no, are selling every item and element that we have in our store. So it's that, but yeah, the brand is growing. I mean, just yesterday we're discussing, spring collection of the brand. We're no longer stocking as many hoodies and sweaters anymore, purely based on we're going to a new season. I mean, this weekend is probably going to be the last cold front. I think we're going to hit a low of 18 by Saturday, Sunday. When you check the next 3 months weather forecast, we're getting back into the warm environment where we believe, government will be lenient when it comes to lockdown and whatnot. Everybody say COVID is the heat. So the more we get back into summer, the better things will start opening up. And then hopefully when we start going out to those gigs, that's when we can start selling the merchandise on a face-to-face interaction in those environments.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for now, my fight with Otto will still continue.
Yeah.
I'm afraid, yeah.
While that fight continues, I think it's safe to say, Barra talk ras with Taiwan in sharp, yeah. So, referees,
Yeah, no, and I think I agree. It's just that when we had her over, Nerisna, her sizes, she's a bit tiny. Because the smallest is Vinu. You see Vinu, Kajana.
Yeah.
But with your force there, she's smaller than that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay. Ne, reply to. Because we touched a bit on this before we recorded about sponsorships, because it would have been so easy to say, if you get an alcohol brand on an online platform that is popular, then there's more eyes for that brand. Then at least it justifies why the brand would spend money on the platform. But now alcohol brands are, I mean, how has that, or let me just ask you about how difficult is it currently to get sponsors for your brand?
It's quite difficult, at this moment, based on the pandemic and the lockdown levels and all. It's quite difficult. Look, Runa, we have an alcohol brand on our side, which is Don Julio. That they saw the need to jump in on this thing that we're pushing. But now, Don Julio being an alcohol brand, they really can't commit anything to Tequila Gang at this moment if they themselves they can't sell alcohol. So, for instance, you go and say 15 rands from Don Julio. For now, they can't give you 15 rands because they're not even making that 15 rands back. It's quite difficult, And I think as South Africa, if maybe South Africa we were one of those countries selling the Jibutaliana, this will be a time for a sanitizer brand to partner with Tequila Gang, a Dettol to partner with us, because their products are more. But it's really difficult, my man. It's really difficult for them to commit to that, because they will also want to see ROI more level as well, and investment being properly capitalized. But we can't this moment.
Yeah. Man, and I can attest to that, because now, like, we are trying to get brands on board, with this thing, and it's becoming increasingly difficult. But nonetheless, I think that the longer the platform grows, the longer it goes on for, the higher the chances of getting somebody on board, down the line. Because for now, it's a bit difficult. People don't really know what's coming and what's going, with regards to their business. But, Tequila Gang will be there 3 months later. It will still be active. So there are more opportunities once the brand is, because by then 3 months time, you guys have grown so much in such a short space of time in terms of following, but I can only foresee bigger things happening. But now I want to get into the most important thing of this conversation, and Kibotsa wena Bravini, because as the elders between us, the most important thing with this conversation, how to drink tequila properly. So Bravini, let's why the lemon, the fridge, how do you prefer your tequila?
Yeah, I don't pay los photos, but it's cool. Look, I mean, we love tequila. Tequila Gang loves tequila. That's number one. And I started because of lockdown.
Yeah,
it's been like that for many years. And look, there is no formula. of drinking a tequila. I don't think there is. You know, I mean, I like tequila as it is. There's no lemon, there's no salt, but the next person might enjoy it with lemon and, you know, whatever. But I prefer tequila as it is. And, you know, right now we spoke about cocktails and we want to make tequila sexy. Let me put it like that, you know, for the ladies. So you can have a cocktail tequila. I mean, we've been trying it right now. When we stream, sometimes, you know, tequila with a bit of sweetness, whatever. But it's, and it tastes really good. It tastes really good. So I feel like once these things, you know, becomes easier and at those smaller parties that we are planning, you'll see all of those things happening. So tequila cocktails for the ladies, but I like tequila as is.
Yeah, and we heard it from the best, from the experienced tequila drinker. And so Jerry, what are this thing between Lona and Bararune? If you guys are just going on a tequila drinking spree, who is the last man standing?
Yeah,
LSG.
yeah, already on the spot. Nine Olympiad. Nine Alo Talamun. But you know, it depends on what type of day.
Oh, it differs, ne? So
Differently in different. There are days more loring Vinira Mepula. There are days more loring Nagasa Korotamaya. There are days. I think Otto is the last man standing in most.
Yeah.
Yeah, Narna Lofan. I get this thing goes the age.
Oh.
We are older than this young man. So.
Okay. No, okay, well, that was Barros and another way, more strong yan. Okay. There's a
What Jerry is saying, it depends on days, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a jolly patrek.
Plus, you play something go when Otowara Mona, Trapile, Var Dimane, War Rasa, and if you think I'm lying, wait first, hold on. If you think I'm lying, I've got a voice note from a friend who testified, you know, ahead of the show. So let me play the voice note, then we can close the conversation.
Sure. What's up, Lisejo? My name is Subs, the Soul Train. Hey, you've got my brothers right there, man. Hey, those three guys. It's a difficult one, man. You know, all three guys absolutely love tequila. And the best way to put it is actually, I know they're going to kill me for this. Immediately after this, I'm going to get killed. They all have their own reactions to tequila. I know Otto, when he's heavy on tequila, dances and shouts a lot. Jerry, when he's heavy on tequila, I don't know if it's Jerry's pride, but Matata will always disappear. You'll never actually see him being rocked by tequila. He'll just vanish. Yeah, and then there's Vinny. Yeah, Vinny loves tequila, yeah, and he handles it, but it rocks him, man. Hey, I'm sorry, Chance. Yeah, man, but hey, love the brothers, man. I'm a proud gang member. They're doing a great job. Yeah, man, let's keep rocking, and let's keep rocking the tequila as well, man. Awesome one, boys.
Eitara, hola subs. Yeah, ne, wara ne, Jerry, aye, wa jaiwa, wara wasiya mfethu. Wara wachaba. Anyway, gents, I wanna say like not content alone. I'm really happy to see you guys doing what you do and doing it cascade also it's not just about decks camera, it's so much more, the visual element. You can see like the marketing strategies, the ideas, they come to play. I really just like the whole movement, and I really wish you guys more growth with the platform. And thank you again for joining me this morning.
Nice one, Leseo. It's all good.
Bravini.
I'm going back to bed.
So ke mang a sa tlhapang?
Weekend seats. Yeah, there. Spar, there, sharp.
But thanks for having us, and keep up the good work yourself, LSG, man. This is a lovely platform.
Yeah, no.
Thank
Nice
you.
one.
Great platform.
Thank you, Machens. Thank you so much.
Yes.
So when I say next time when you come to our stream,
Yeah.
Tabela tequila. You must drink it like the way we do.
Angas compete
You must rock this thing.
no, also compete professional tequila drinkers. I'll have two shots. 2 shots is enough for me. Yeah, before get Jaivara.
Well, we are professional tequila drinkers.
Yeah, as well.
Wow.
Happy to know. Thank you so much. And to everybody who's watching, thank you for watching this. Please tag somebody in the comment section who might enjoy the conversation, who might learn from the conversation. And most importantly, I think it's really more about learning how to create your own and make your own content your own way, how to make it different and do it consistently enough so that after a few months you can see the difference. You can really grow the platforms. And otherwise, tomorrow on the show I have Greg Maloka, the musical maestro. I hope you guys tune in for that 9 a.m. And otherwise, let's remember to stay creative. Peace out.